Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're exploring a sound that you've almost certainly heard, but maybe don't fully understand. It's a chant that has really crossed oceans and generations. Okay, let's dive right in. You've heard it in George Harrison's iconic #1 hit, My Sweet Lord. You've heard it in the Broadway musical Hair. I mean, these 16 words have become a global cultural touchstone. But what do they actually mean, and where in the world did they come from? All right, this is known as the Maha Mantra, which literally translates to the Great Mantra. And its power really comes from its simplicity. It's made up of just 3 Sanskrit names, repeated in a very specific pattern, and each one has a really profound meaning. So let's break it down. The first word, Har, is what's called the vocative form of Hara. That's another name for Radha, who is Krishna's eternal consort. So it isn't just a name, it's a direct appeal, a call to the spiritual energy of the Supreme. This means the mantra isn't a monologue. It's meant to be a conversation, an invocation. Next up we have Krishna, which is a name for the Supreme Godhead. And the name itself means he who is all attractive, which refers to the one who, well, is attractive to everyone. And finally, we have Rama, which means he who is the source of all pleasure. Now, what's interesting here is that depending on the tradition, this can refer to Rama from the epic Ramayana or to Balarama, Krishna's brother. But in either case, the core idea is the same. It signifies the ultimate source of all joy. So, when you put it all together, the chant becomes this simple, direct, and really powerful petition. It's a call to the divine and its energy, basically asking to be engaged in loving service. It's less of a demand and more of a really heartfelt request for connection. Now, here's a crucial point. This is not some new invention from the 1960s. Not at all. This mantra has an incredible ancient history that builds over thousands of years. Its journey actually starts way back in the Kali Sancharna Upanishad, which is an ancient, pretty confidential Vedic text. For centuries, it was passed down through these very specific lineages. Then you fast forward to the 15th century, and a spiritual teacher named Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts spreading it publicly all across India. But its big global moment, that came in 1965, when A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada began chanting it under a tree in New York's Tompkins Square Park. And from there, the Hare Krishna movement was born. Just a few years later, boom, it was on Broadway and topping music charts all over the world. Now, while the Maha Mantra is definitely the most famous one, it's just one of many powerful mantras dedicated to Krishna. The tradition is just so rich with different invocations, and each one has a slightly different focus. For example, you have the Dvadasakshari mantra, the 12-syllable mantra, which is known as a formula for attaining freedom or mukti. Then there's the Krishnamula mantra, which is a bit more intimate, more meditative. It's a prayer for dissolving the ego and removing suffering. This just goes to show you the depth and variety within the tradition. There are different paths for different spiritual needs. So across all these different mantras, why do people chant? What are the intended effects? Well, the spiritual and psychological benefits that practitioners describe are remarkably consistent. On a really practical level, the sheer repetition of the mantra trains your brain to stay present. It acts like an anchor for the mind, It helps cut through all that constant mental clutter we all have and improves discipline and focus. And the slow, rhythmic nature of chanting, it also has a profound effect on the nervous system. This kind of controlled breathing helps lower stress hormones like cortisol, which calms the body down and brings a very tangible sense of peace to the mind. But for devotees, the main purpose is spiritual. Chanting is seen as the most direct way to awaken a sort of dormant, natural love for God. It's a practice that's really meant to purify your consciousness. And this connection isn't just a metaphor. The ancient texts describe it in these beautiful, almost literal terms. See, the name of God is considered non-different from God himself. So to vibrate the sound is to actually invoke the presence. So the main takeaway here is that these mantras are so much more than just ancient words or religious phrases. They're presented as these really sophisticated tools for focusing the mind, calming the nervous system, and for those who seek it, connecting to a much deeper spiritual part of themselves. It kind of leaves us with a question for our noisy, distracted world, doesn't it? What power can we find in a single, focused sound? Hey, if you found this exploration valuable, make sure you subscribe for more explainers that break down the concepts and histories behind the world we live in. Thanks for watching.